Hello and welcome. Today we're going to make a little donut for our cat friends. If you'd like to make this little donut toy with me, the things you'll need are a 4mm crochet hook, yarn needles, scissors. You want worsted weight yarn and a color for the bottom of your donut and a color for your frosting, however many colors you want for your sprinkles, some sort of stuffing. It doesn't have to be polyfill. Anything you can get in there, is absolutely okay with me. And if you'd like to follow along with a written pattern, I do have a link in my bio to send you to where you can find some cat toy patterns. But otherwise, I'm going to take you through every step of the way. So let's go ahead and get started. Our donut starts a little different than a lot of our other toys. Rather than starting with a magic circle, we're going to make a slip knot. So we're going to cross the long end over the short and then bring that long side to the back of the loop we just created. Pull that up and then pull on the ends. There's our little slip knot. Our hook will go in there and we're going to pull both ends to bring that loop down to the size of our hook. And from here, we're going to make 12 chains. So all that means is I like to hold the tail with my spare fingers there to keep that tension on there. We're wrapping our yarn and we're going to pull through the loop. That's one chain. So you're just doing that until you have 12. So keep going, meet me at the end of our chain. We're going to take our chain of 12 here and we're going to join that very last loop with our very first loop, just to make it a circle. This is going to be the whole of our donut. So finding that very first chain, we're going to grab a little leg there and bring that together, keeping just a little bit of tension on there so it doesn't get wobbly or loose. We're wrapping the yarn, we're going to pull through, and we're going to pull through the last one we made. So now we got a nice little circle, a little simple donut here. And we're going to chain one. And then we are going to single crochet into every chain. So you end up with 12 stitches all the way around. So you're going into the very first one, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through two. And you're just going to make sure as you're working that you're looking at the V side of our chain here, the top side. The other side has like a little extra, almost looks like a braid instead of a V. So if you're looking at that side, you want to flip it over. Unless you like the look of the other side. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do. If you like the other side, go ahead and use it. But for a smoother, more traditional crochet look, you'd want to work on this side. Once you have all 12, you're going to join the 2 stitches together. So there's no weird jogging. There's no weird, like, uneven and yeah, that's going to be the end of round 1. So keep going and meet me at the end. We'll join together and then we'll do round 2 together. Okay, we've finished round 1. We're going to find that very first stitch we worked, going through there. We're going to wrap, pull through to slip stitch to join, so we're pulling through that one, and then that last one we finished, we're going to chain 1, and now we are taking our little donut here and working an increase round for the next one. We're going to do 2 single crochet in every single stitch. It's going to take us from 12 stitches all the way up to 24. So we're going in again to that same spot. And we're just repeating this all the way around. So again, the next stitch is going to get worked twice. 2 single crochets in every stitch. We'll slip stitch to join at the end. We'll chain 1 and then we'll get back together for round 3. This whole pattern only has 6 rounds, so we're already almost halfway there. All right, see you at round 3. Round 3, we've got another increase round here. We've joined round 2, we've chained 1 to get ready for round 3. If you haven't done that, go ahead and do that. And then round 3 here is a repeat of single crochet 1. And then we are going to single crochet 2 in the next one. This is going to take us from 24 stitches all the way up to 36. This is our last round with the tan color, the base of the donut color. Our last increase round. When we get to the end, we're not going to slip stitch or join because we're going to be changing colors. So we're just going to continue this pattern one and then working 2 stitches into the next. Until the end, we won't slip stitch. We'll meet back together for our color change. And then I'll tell you what's a little different for our next round. See you there. We're done with our first 3 rounds. Round 4 is going to be pink or whatever frosting color you like. We are not quite joined yet. We're going to leave that hook in there. We are done with this, so we can cut away just like a medium-ish length tail just to make sure that we have something left to tie onto with. And once you get your, knocking stuff over. Once you get your frosting color, we're just going to tie it to the tan, or maybe you're making a chocolate donut, maybe a brown. And then once that is secure, we can find our scissors. Oh, okay, I got it. Snip that off. We can put that other color just away somewhere where it won't bother you. And now we are going to join with our frosting color, making sure all the tails are kind of out of our way and behind where we are working. And we'll chain 1. And we are going to single crochet 1 in every stitch, but this time we are working in the front loop only. I'll do the first couple with you. The very first one's kind of hard to see. So you really jam it in there. And so we're looking at that V shape of our stitch and we're wanting to only grab the front leg. Let me get one more over, a little bit away from that slip stitch joint so you can see a little more clearly. So we got the V, right? We're going to grab front loop only. See if I can, oh yeah, so now you see the back loop's just hanging out there by himself. We're going to leave him back there. We wrap our yarn, we pull it up, we wrap, we pull through 2 to finish that single crochet. So it's other than the fact that you're only grabbing the front loop, it's just a plain single crochet stitch going all the way around and 1 in every one. So you still have 36 stitches. We'll slip stitch to join and we'll get back together for our next round. We've got round 4 done. Our next round, round 5, is going to be a decrease round. We've already joined, we chained 1, we're going to go into the very first stitch making 1 plain single crochet, and the next one is going to be a decrease stitch. So we are going through the front loops only of those next 2 stitches. We wrap, pull through both of those, wrap, pull through the 2 left on the hook. So other than the fact that you're getting 2 pieces rather than 1 stitch in there, it's really the only difference. The rest of it's like a plain single crochet. So front loops only of the next 2 stitches, wrap, pull through both, and then the rest is like a plain single crochet. Yeah, we are going to repeat this all the way around. If there's some other decrease stitch that you prefer to this one, that's absolutely okay. You'll still end up with the right number of stitches. So just keep going. We're going to slip stitch at the end. We'll chain 1, and then we only have 1 round left to go. So a very quick one. So I will see you for the next round. The last round is another decrease round. This time we are doing all single crochet 2 togethers all the way around. So that's taking us all the way back down to 12 stitches. So you can do a different decrease if you like, or you can keep doing the grabbing the front loops. Wrap, pull through the 2. Anyway, so every stitch you work is going to be working 2 stitches down to 1. So we're decreasing all the way around. When you get to the end, we will join, but we will not be chaining 1 because we're going to be at the end. So go ahead, finish this round, join the round, and then we'll meet back up together for finishing off that little piece of the toy, and then also adding on maybe some sprinkles if you want some sprinkles. We've joined. We got that one last loop left on the hook. We're going to make our tail a little longer than usual because we need it to sew this very first round to that, or very last round to the very first round. So we'll be kind of flattening them out. The stuffing goes obviously in the donut part, so we need a little bit of a longer one. Make sure that we can get all the way around. Okay, so we've cut it. Now we can wrap that yarn over the hook here. We're going to go back through that loop. And now that's tied off. So before we add the stuffing, before we do everything else, we are going to just maybe move all the tails to one side, just kind of out of the way. And then we're going to get our yarn needle and a long piece of whatever color you want your first sprinkles to be. We're tying it to the inside of the toy, so the extra tail from the sprinkles will also end up just inside. I usually do blue and yellow. It's kind of like a little nod to Homer Simpson's donuts. But you can do whatever colors you like, and I find that 9 sprinkles per color is sort of like the perfect amount for this size toy. But if you want more or less, that's absolutely fine. Do whatever you feel like your donut needs. So go ahead, grab a piece of the yarn, thread it onto your yarn needle, and we'll get back together to do a set. All right, I've got my yellow. It's threaded on. You don't need to tie it onto the needle, just loop it through a little bit. So the inside part of our toy here, I'm going to grab actually I can make my first sprinkle here. So going through and making sure you don't catch anything extra. And then over, however far over you go is how long that sprinkle is going to be. And then on the inside we tie it together, just maybe like a little double knot in case your kitty cat friends are extra feisty with their toys. We want to make sure they don't rip any of that off. We'll keep it as safe as possible. If you do have a cat that's like really good at ripping things apart, maybe leave off the sprinkles so you know for sure that they're not going to accidentally ingest any extra string. Okay, so we're just going around making the sprinkles go whatever direction you want, making them whatever size you think looks good. And you're trying to vary which part of the toy they go through so that they are, you know, giving authentic sprinkle look. And once you finish this color, wherever you finish it off, you're going to tie it again so that, you know, neither end is able to come loose. I think I'll do at least one more here. Yeah, I think that'll be it for my yellow for today. And flipping it so you can see the inside again. And then your best bet is to grab like that same color somewhere where it's just the floating yarn rather than a stitch. That way you don't see any of the extra here, that little knot. You don't have like a weird little mini sprinkle on the outside. And you can trim any extra bits off of the tail if it's like super duper long. We are just tucking in the tails, but the less you have to try to fit in there, the easier it is to do the stuffing. And then you can go ahead and add as many colors as you like and as many sprinkles as you like. And once you're done, we will start to add our stuffing and sew everything together. Once you finish with all your sprinkles, you're tucking all of your ends in just sort of in that circular way. We're going to thread our tail onto our yarn needle. We're just kind of leaving that there, and then adding the stuffing is probably the hardest part of this whole thing. So catnip, if you're putting catnip in, I would hold it upright like this, put the catnip in just here at the bottom, because otherwise it's just going to get really messy. So catnip in the bottom, if you're holding it like, I don't know, like a tire or something, and you want to keep all that in there, then the stuffing will go all the way around. I will do it with you, but I'm just going to kind of speed up the clip so that you don't have to watch me struggle while you struggle. We can struggle together, but I'll speed it up for you. Okay, your stuffing might look insane right now because it's going to be sticking out, but as long as you've got a hole in the middle, like you can get your finger through there without stuffing coming out the other side, you're going to be okay. So we are taking our yarn needle and we're working our way, making sure that we're staying in that hole there. We're not grabbing any of the stuffing. And then from the other side, we're just finding that very first stitch. And we're going through that stitch and we're pulling that stitch together with the one on the top. So hopefully you didn't catch any fluff in there. If you did, now's a good time to move it out of the way. So now we're going from the other way. So we're working our way over the next stitch, trying not to grab a bunch of our stuffing, just keeping it out of the way, going through the hole and out the next stitch on our way. And we're tightening it up as we go. That keeps that stuffing in there. You can already kind of start to see that you see a little less of it floating around in the middle. So going through the next one and out the stitch in the back. And that's basically it. We're just sewing the two sides together, so the top and the bottom, just making sure that we're catching our stuffing on the inside of the toy, not in our stitches. So keep going. I'll meet you once we are back at the beginning. Okay, we've made it all the way around. You can see all of our stuffing is secure. We've got everything joined in. Now the only thing left to do is to secure this last little stitch here. So we are going to grab anywhere where we can pick up just one little piece of yarn, and we're going to keep pulling that tail through until we've got a little loop. We're going to make a little knot, and then normally I don't ever weave anything in. I just kind of jam it through the toy, but for this one you can just sort of tell, and it might not bother you at all, but it bothers me a little bit that there's like a little bit of a gap in between these last few ones here. So what I like to do is just to use my tail and I'll weave through over and under. So I'm going under the pieces that stick up and over the parts that have like a little bit of a gap, just to weave this tail in and to kind of camouflage those little gaps a little bit. And then once I'm back at the beginning, I might make just one extra knot. Oh, I missed one. Oh no, that's okay. We're gonna back it up a little bit. So yeah, once I get all the way back around to the beginning, I might make one more knot, I might not, depends on how snug the yarn is feeling. So this strand will always be attached to everything else. It's not like the sprinkles where we might end up with a loose piece of yarn. It's not going to go anywhere. But anyway, if you don't feel like you need an extra knot, it's up to you. You could just pull through the toy and snip it off, or you can knot it off one more time. And then wherever, if you are making a knot, wherever your knot lays the flattest, oh, I didn't get mine very tight. Struggling today. Oh, there we go. And wherever your knot lays the flattest, we're just going to send the needle through the toy and grabbing our scissors, putting a little bit of tension on there. We're getting as close to the stitches as we can without snipping any of those. Cutting the tail off, and then just smushing the toy a little to get that tail to pop back into the inside. And our little donuts are done. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you had fun making a little cat toy donut with me. Bye.